Hello, I'm Luke, and welcome to another episode of the Vision to Victory podcast, where we discuss practical ways to turn your dreams into reality. Last week, one of the things that we talked about was perspective and about keeping whatever situation or season of life we're in perspective in relation to the broader story of our lives. So, whatever you might be experiencing right now, whatever's going on in your life, is simply a chapter or a few pages of the book of your life. And in a similar way, each of our lives is part of a broader story of the community around us, whether that's our family, our church, or community, whatever that is. We're part of a bigger story. And I believe that the level of meaning and fulfillment that we experience in life is directly connected to the degree of our connection to the bigger story. I want to say that again. I believe that the level of meaning and fulfillment that we experience is directly correlated to the degree of our connection to this broader story. You are a part of the bigger story, and your part matters, and you matter. In that vein, I want to talk about the difference between being a contributor versus a consumer. For the purpose of this, I want to define each of these. A contributor is someone who seeks to use their talents and abilities to positively impact the world and people around them. The contributor asks, "How can I help?" A consumer, on the other hand, is someone who seeks to extract or take from the world and people around them. The consumer asks, "What's in it for me?" Look, if you want joy and purpose, be a contributor. If you want emptiness and anxiety, be a consumer. I promise you, I could list many, many examples, and I bet you could too. Let me give a kind of superfluous example of being a consumer. So you go buy a new car. You're excited about it. It's fun. It's cool. It's got that new car smell. What happens a few months later? It's just another car, and the new wears off. We've all experienced some version of this, and all of a sudden we're back in a similar place before we even bought the vehicle. Now, look, that's not to negate any practical implications of needing a vehicle or whatever reason you might need a new one. That's not the point. The point is that if you're looking for some sort of meaning by consuming, you'll be deeply disappointed. And again, I think we've all experienced this on some level. And here's the reality is we are all both a consumer and a contributor, but it really boils down to this question of where we derive our meaning and identity. There's nothing more satisfying and fulfilling than a life that positively influences others and contributes to the good of the world around us. And again, conversely, if you're just consuming and you're looking for meaning and identity by, whether that's stuff or whether that's approval from other people, it's still asking that question of what's in it for me? What can you do for me? What can I get that's going to make me feel a certain way? And again, I think we've all experienced this on some level. You just come up empty every single time. And I believe that's because we're created to be interconnected with each other. I really believe this. I've experienced levels of this in my own life. And each of us is uniquely gifted, and you are uniquely you. And I believe that purpose and fulfillment come at the intersection of your gifts, talents, abilities, and your contribution to the world. So purpose and fulfillment, again, they come at the intersection of your gifts and your contribution. So whatever you bring to the table, whatever makes you you, you will find purpose and fulfillment when you use that for the betterment of the world around you. And there's a key part here. So this is not the same thing as people pleasing. So anybody who knows me knows I feel strongly about this. I'm not a fan of people pleasing or simply just doing things under the guise of being, kind or helpful, when really it's a matter of maybe you're just doing it because you feel some sort of obligation, or you need the approval or validation of other people. That is not at all what I'm talking about when I'm talking about contributing. In fact, I would say that one of the best things you can do as a person is, instead of worrying about people pleasing, develop yourself. Develop yourself, because pursuing the highest version of yourself will inherently mean that you are a much more capable person, and you will have far more to contribute than if you didn't invest and develop yourself. And this is very different, again, than just going around and trying to, do things for other people, all the while depleting yourself and not investing in growing. And so I would say that, one of the most selfless and meaningful things that any of us can do, particularly if we have the mindset of a contributor, so we want to bring something to the table, one of the best things you can do is truly invest in growing and developing. Now, there's a endless amount of ways to do this. I am a huge proponent of reading, of course, reading good things that inspire us and spur us on. And again, anyone who knows me has heard me say some version of this, but you can often get a lifetime worth of wisdom from incredibly dynamic people in just a couple weeks by reading a book. And so I think this is a significant way to accelerate the process of growth and development. So I would say, if you want to live a fulfilling and purposeful life, find a way to be a contributor and think in terms of what you enjoy, what you're good at, what you bring to the table, and find a way to develop that and use that part of your life to impact others and the world around you in a positive way. So go be a contributor today. If you found this helpful or you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing, share it with somebody who could use this. I look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you.